What's something we all just pretend no one does, but in truth we know we all do it? It is not the picking of the nose that separates us, but what comes after. My dad, 2015. A. Eat it. B. Put it in a tissue. C. Stick it to nearest hidden surface. D. Flick and let universe decide its fate. When I was a kid/teenager, I was D till one day I noticed there was a lot of something weird on my bedroom door next to my computer desk. What is this stuff? Oh my god. What have I done? That feeling when you finally flick the sticky booger off your finger after 7 tries. How did I know that nose picking would be the first thing on this thread? It was the first thing I thought when I saw the post title lol. I was pleased to see that it is one of the top comments. There's 2 types of people in this world. Nose pickers and liars. Look up words that people use because we don't know the meaning even though we pretend to when they are talking. Like, I know I'm using the word in the right context, but if someone was to ask me what it means, I could not tell them. I took an ADHD screening test, and they asked approximately 1 million questions that felt like an IQ test. I'm decent with vocabulary, but she hit me with palliate. I left feeling real stupid. Winning fake arguments in your head. Hey, it's better than losing a fake argument in your head. I lose arguments in my head all the time. It helps me rethink my perspective. I really respect this answer. I do this too sometimes. I feel like it's really important to figure out who was actually right after an emotional argument/disagreement. Picking your nose and finding that root boog that feels like it's attached to the base of the brain. One of the best feelings in the world. I just had deviated septum surgery in October. You have no idea the satisfaction of those first few monsters finally working their way out of my slowly healing passages and my nose suddenly feeling wide open. I mean, maybe you do, it's a pretty common procedure. And when pulling it out, it feels like you're unraveling your brain. So satisfying. And when it's in one piece and you have that that's what the insides of my sinuses are shaped like moment. Then one solid blow of your nose and you can breathe so cleanly. Oh my god. I so want another snot root to pull right now. Judge other people. Recently I had to insist that my wife knocks loudly and waits before opening my son's bedroom door. I really had to explain why, for fudge's sake. I know he's constantly hitting the monkey, but he would be mortified if anyone knew, especially his parents. Read messages from the notification bar, then pretending you didn't see the message only much later. I occasionally turn off my Wi-Fi and data, read the message, close the app and then turn data/Wi-Fi back on. It seems to work. I gotta ask, at that point, why not turn off read receipts? I like seeing when others have read my messages. I just don't like them seeing when I do. Sometimes I'm a giant hypocrite. Intrusive thoughts that make us question whether we're secretly psychopaths. Everybody has those. Right? Right? Our brains are association machines. It's not a big deal. It just means we see the possibilities. It just so happens that the possibilities include abhorrent acts like murder. Fantasize about doing something/someone you shouldn't. Man, I could just jump off this building, couldn't I? No brain, we do not want to die. Yes, we technically could do that though. Driving home in a good mood, looking forward to dinner. My brain, you could just drive over all those people on the sidewalk. Nah, that would ruin dinner plans. Let's just be normal for now. Sometimes it baffles me how easy it is to throw our lives away. I had this intrusive thought this morning. Driving into work, and some major interstates are under construction, with one of the main highways that dumps into the city being reduced to 2 lanes. I thought, if you do it right, you could wreck with that car next to you and completely shut down traffic into downtown. Sure, you might die and kill the other person, but this one, quick, mindless action could significantly impact this entire city. How? Interesting. Significantly impact this entire city. I feel like this is something we should look at more closely as a society. I think a lot of impulsive, crazy decisions people make are because they feel like a small cog in a giant machine in which they feel powerless. There's this urge to impact our environment in sometimes wild ways just to feel a sense of control over this world and our individual lives. Broken link 100. You don't have to shut down an entire city to have an impact. I hear you. You are important and have made an impact on me, if that has any value to you. That was weirdly encouraging, and I appreciate it. Assume you are above average intelligence. I usually assume I'm either the most galaxy-brained human to have ever lived or a complete dumbass. It really depends on the day and on what I'm doing. When I was a younger person, I used to think I was way above average intelligence, but the older I get, the dumber I feel. Now I'm sure I was always a dumb shit. Oh well, guess I'll go have a snack and take a nap, making up conversations in my head before something important. Like I will say this and then the response from other person might be this. Sometimes it can go for 10 to 15 minutes before I snap back to reality. Especially arguments. I can have both sides of an argument with someone all by myself in my own head. This is why I spend so long in the shower lol, just stand there going through potential arguments in my head and how I'd win them. If anyone asks why I was in the shower for 30 minutes though, I'd never say so. Also, the arguments never really go how they did in my head. I'm a lot smarter and wittier when I'm arguing against myself. Or reading back over your Reddit comments to revisit the pride you got from a particularly clever one. And being upset because one that you knew was killer only gets 4 upvotes. And the stupid one is like 1,000. That, and also to proofread after the fact to make sure that other people think I'm fabulous as well. Reading comments/texts multiple times after sending/posting them. Just to let the fact that you're a modern-day Shakespeare settle in. The amount of time I spend looking at my own posts/messages and pretend that I'm an outsider looking in is embarrassing. Only to discover you left out an important word and the whole meaning of your post. Just deliberately delay responses to text messages and emails, even though it would be convenient to reply. Especially when it would be at a suspiciously late hour. I'm a night owl. At least email has a delay send option. So do text messages. At least on Android phones. You can schedule to send a text. Saved me so many times, because I'm horrible at remembering to text people on their birthdays. I'll remember the day before that so-and-so has a birthday tomorrow, then tomorrow comes and I get busy or distracted and forget to actually send the text. So, I schedule a text to arrive the next day. Late enough that I'm typically awake and texting, but early enough that it's clearly one of my first texts of the day. Also, I make sure to select a weird minute to send, 8:33 not 8:30 on the dot. I'm always worried with delayed texts, especially that by the time it sends they may have texted me something that makes the context of my scheduled message sound weird or like I was ignoring their last message. This has happened to me before. Scratching your crotch. Kids hide their profanity from adults, and adults hide their profanity from kids. Because both sides must maintain the illusion that the other side doesn't know that they know profanity. I still remember vividly the first time I heard my 13-year-old boy loudly exclaim fudge through an open window. He was carrying groceries in, and dropped a gallon of milk on the pavement. It was proper usage, and I couldn't bring myself to yell at him over actual spilled milk, so here we are. My 4-year-old was eating a popsicle and it broke in half and fell on the kitchen floor. She looked down it for a second, sighed and quietly said "God damn it" before going to get toilet paper to clean it up. My wife denies it, but I know our daughter picked it up from her because it was exactly how she says it. One of my then 8-year-old twins surprised me in front of several adults one day. For the longest time, when an injury was narrowly avoided, I would ask my kids, "What's rule number 1? Don't die," they would gleefully respond. This time, young River instead responded, "Fucking live." Again, he had a very energetic smile. Then I recalled saying that to them once when talking about my deceased brother and how much I missed him. Lol, I had no recourse, and made no reprimand nor correction. Welcome to the new rule number 1. Don't die is a pretty legit number 1 rule. I've heard don't panic as well, but I much prefer the hype and positivity of fudging live. Many people don't die, but how many of us fucking live? Too few, my dude. Far too few. Panic clean before guests come over to then apologize for the mess. Until you start having no panic, then you stop cleaning, it follows that you stop apologizing for the mess. And finally you stop having visits. Depression doesn't count lol. Hello darkness my old friend. Or, for unexpected guests, hide behind the front door noiselessly, watching out the peephole until they've left. Because I'm an introvert, or a coward, or both. Oh God, I still think about this. Our old house had a glass front door, so you couldn't walk down the hallway without someone seeing you. I was wandering around the back end of the house without any pants on. The doorbell rang, and I saw it was the postman. But I couldn't get to the bedroom, where my pants were, without giving him a full view of my naked lower half. So I hid behind the wall and waited for him to go away. And after he left, I couldn't find the parcel anywhere. Eventually I found it on the back veranda. Just off the back room, which had really big windows and open curtains. So while I was hiding from him, he's come around to the back of the house and left my DVDs on the back veranda. And he would see me, half naked and hiding behind the wall. This story needs to be made into a motion picture. Procrastination. I was going to say that, but I waited too long. Convincing yourself in your head that everyone around you is doing things perfectly and at full efficiency and expect the same of the people around them. No? Just me? I feel like I'm a moron that's just hiding my uselessness very well. Yes, me thinking I'm a lazy idiot and everyone else is a brilliant overachiever. Thinking about embarrassing moments. I will find myself having flashbacks to stupid shit from primary school like 2 decades ago and reliving that. Like, bro, you're probably the only person who even remembers, let it go. That is probably the case for like 90% of the things you think about, but then I also only remember some people by the embarrassing things they did. Remember Johnny from preschool? Oh yeah, the kid that shit his pants on the playground, and my entire memory/foundation of how I view Johnny is that he shit his pants. I wonder how many people only remember me by my embarrassing moments. Tell small lies. Particularly to make us and others feel better. I know a few people who can't tell a story without the reflex of making it just a bit spicier than it really was. I chalk it up to poetic license. There's a difference between telling a story and rendering a report. My wife does this and I've always disliked it, but I'm starting to see the value. It doesn't hurt anyone and does make the listener more interested. I have a college buddy that does it. He embellishes our college stories to crazy degrees, but he's a very engaging storyteller and people love it. My dad does it too, and we always made fun of him growing up for it, but not that I'm in my 30s. I've come to the realization that most people are just constantly bullshitting each other and everything.